Riz here, and today is going to be another roleplay review, this time over Snapped Dragon. And in this log, we have two new characters. It's going to be Hawthorne and Hemlock. Type is combat and drama. The arc is called Snapped Dragon, and the quick synopsis, the back of the book read is: following the bios of Hawthorne and Hemlock, the titular characters pick themselves up after their ship crash lands on a jungle moon in the West Galaxy. Their captain and the man who raised them to be gentlemen pirates dying at their feet gives Hawthorne his pistol before the mercenaries who shot them down show up searching for something more than just the blood of the posh jacks. And I'm going to start this off by saying the two writers behind these characters, Hawthorne and Hemlock. I know Hemlock just from Lux and Hemlock has got to be Ike. I'm going to assume that Hawthorne is going to be Khonsu. And these guys like to roleplay together, and they do a very good job roleplaying together. But I've played this song and dance before. I've been burned by love, and I refuse to be burned again. Meaning that you guys like to make characters, Leaf, Grace, and leave them behind, Bangers and Mash, although that was Greg, and leave us hanging, because you write these really great, lovely, beautiful stories, and they end up going nowhere, Kosho and Yugen. Although that story did kind of finish. But back to this one, the Snapdragon. The synopsis kind of tells you exactly what happens in the story. The posh jacks are shut down by a mercenary company called the Aphids, and exactly as it says, the captain dies. It's like their father figure. Hawthorne is now made captain, and Hemlock is made, not really made first mate, but I mean, there's only two people alive, so he's technically by proxy first mate. They land on the moon, and then they really just get the gun. The mercenaries show up. You guys should really stop using dice. Like, really stop using dice, because as soon as, like, the mercenary shows up, I want to say, yeah, Hawthorne gets a natty 20, takes his guy out. Hemlock gets a natty 1, gets messed up. I mean, probably should have died the way that this is written in here, but he goes to hit his guy, trips on a vine, completely misses, and the guy is like, oh, free kill, and just bam, 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 bam. Then, Hawthorne rolls his dice, doesn't really get the job done there. Hemlock takes more damage, and then Hawthorne again rolls dice, gets the guy out. I guess this was another dice roll to see if he lived or not. And, I mean, that's pretty much it. There is, like, a significance of the gun that Hawthorne was given from their father/captain is what the aphids are looking for. So there is a story to definitely be told here. Absolutely there is. Just, will we ever really get to it? Will we really ever get to see where the story goes? I would like to hope so, right? I will be the first to admit I have altitis like no other. I have literally made characters just to make fun of other characters and get involved in plots and stories, and then that's really it. And then they're just a character that exists. But you guys just love coming up with cool ideas. Like, these characters are very cool. They're like gentlemen. The way that's described, they're like gentlemen pirates, right? And, like, I don't even know if that's really a thing. That's like saying, I'm a nice thief. I'm going to plunder your village and your ship, but be courteous about it. Like, excuse me, would you like to follow my cutlass, please? But we'll see, right? Like, there's a lot that could happen with these two characters. There's a lot that could be with this story. We'll just see how dedicated and devoted that they are. I really wish that it wasn't such an isolated tale, because when you guys write these things, like they exist so well in your corner of role play, and then they tend to change a little bit when they get invited into the regular kind of echelon of things, right? When they start meeting these other characters. So I'm hoping that these two kind of stay more in touch and in tone with the tone of the setting. It's more pirate and space opera, more guns and weapons, and not so much like the martial arts, Dragon Ball esque, dot 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 kind of. It's not that, and it look, when you're trying to write a good story, like Dragon Ball is not really the best thing to use as like your mold to write a really great story. I get it. I'm curious to see where these two characters go. Like there's not a lot of stuff that really happens, so I don't have like a lot of comments on the log itself. Other than this was one thing that I did pick up when I was reading this log. And this is not a knock to anybody who wrote it. There's nothing wrong with this, but it does follow a very similar song and dance to Leaf and Grace, where Ike, you tend to lead the story a lot. I would like to see Khonsu take the lead on this one. Like I know if I had to assume who played the narrator here, definitely going to be Eichenbach. And when I say lead the story, there was a sentence in here where it was here, right? So this part right here where Hawthorne kind of mentions that the Aphid Mercs were entering the jungle, they had their guns raised, and they were splitting off into two groups to cover ground. Hemlock kind of takes a sentence here to respond, and then he goes into controlling the aphids as well. To where it's like Ike is the driving force behind the story. And while there's nothing wrong with that, like you need to have somebody who's going to tell the tale, I would just like to see the roles reversed. I would like to see Khonsu kind of take the reins and kind of say like, okay, like Ike, you're in my tale now, right? I know, and this is the thing, like Ike is playing the subordinate, and I guess it's like kind of give and take of like, well, if I'm going to DM, I don't want to DM and be the main character. So you'll be the main character, my character will be the backup, and I'll do more of like the NPC work. And you get your heroic moment. And I'm not saying like Hemlock needs to be the hero or anything. I'm just saying like for the way that the role play goes, I would just switch it up, right? Like Khonsu, you're gonna do most of the work, and it is shared here. I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm not saying that this was an Ike log and Khonsu was just kind of there. I would just like to see the roles reversed a little bit. Like Khonsu, you lead, Ike will follow, like truly, and we'll just see. Maybe the next log, because I think you guys have one more up on the forums. Maybe the next one is a little different, but this is a short video. Sorry that I don't have more to say. I liked it. It was fun. Dice tell a hell of a sad tale for you too. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.